What's up, everybody? We're here back on the Fat Third Podcast. I'm Andy Gunnin, and with me, as always, Jody Cieutat, Midget
What's
Mafia
up?
OG. Sorry, folks, it's been a little while. We've been very, very busy. I've been extremely busy. We'll go into that in a little bit. Jody was busy, and we just released another one the other day from 2 weeks ago. I've got another one to release today, and then we got this new one, so we're getting back on track. So forgive us. And Jody just dropped his camera. Anyways, if you're listening, don't worry. You just missed Jody dropping his camera. So basically, we're out of practice. We're out of sync. I don't know what's happening over there. Are
There we
we
go.
back? Are we there?
Maybe.
Are you good?
Yeah,
You have a stroke? What happened?
something like that. I got this dumb thing that mounts to the table, and the table is slippery, so it falls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm fixing to fix it there.
So they're fixing to fix it with the candle.
Yeah, put the candle right there, and it ain't gonna fall. All right, we're good.
Are you good?
Yeah, we're good.
You're a little can, but other than that, you're good. This is more for listening, not for watching. We're more of a listening podcast. Thank you for listening, everyone. We got some good reviews back a couple weeks ago for some folks commenting on Facebook, so we thank you.
Yep.
We'll try to keep going, keep doing what we're doing. We're getting some traction, get some things. I'm getting some amazing traction with what I'm doing.
Yeah, I see now.
I am all over the country. I've booked another 20 something shows. My goal for the year was 52 paid feature gigs,
Yeah.
and one or two of them to be clubs. So far, I have now exceeded that by. I've already featured at a club, Bonkers Comedy Club this year. I'm booked for 2 more feature spots to go on the road with a amazing comedian Steve Sabo at the Comedy Zone coming up. My goal is 52. I am well over half of that. I'm probably 30 shows deep or more.
Yeah, I seen your list, and I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, so I'm not complaining. I'm very happy. I'm enthralled. Sometimes you set goals. You're like, I'm gonna say this in the world. It's what I want to do. I was talking to people. It's just you just go and do it, and it just happens. And you're like, whoa, where am I at? I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
okay, well, those goals are done.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what's next?
And then with it going so good, it's like, okay, what's next year's goal?
Yeah. What's next year's goal?
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't even know what next year's goal is right now because I still haven't finished this year, and we're just 4 months in. So
Yeah.
I'm not bragging, but I'm not complaining. But it's just it's hitting on all cylinders, and I couldn't be happier. But I'm just trying to run and keep up with it. That's all I'm trying to say. Just trying to keep up with everything.
Yeah, I seen your list, and I'm like, holy crap, that's April, May, and June, and it's packed.
Yeah, and that's just it's like it's weird. It's like you do a couple of shows, and all weekend long. Last week was my biggest road trip ever, 2,200 miles. I went to Sarasota. From Sarasota, went all the way to Metropolis, Illinois. From Metropolis to Springfield, Illinois. From Springfield, drove across Indiana into Bucyrus, Ohio. Now, the week before that, I had just gone up to Ohio to a great place called the Club Flamingo. We had an amazing night. I sold more merch than I've ever sold in one show. We had a great time. The people were amazing. I sold out of shirts. I had to come home and spend 2 days making shirts I sold for me. It was absolutely insanity for one night. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I sold a lot of merch last weekend. Great shows at both Route 66 Motorhead Bar and Grill. This place was amazing setup. And then the venue at Old 30 over in Bucyrus, had a great time. Over 100 people, sold a lot of merch, had a great time with those folks. Those are amazing people. But yeah, it's and then as I'm going along, and by the way, yes, and we'll get into my sleeping arrangements. So that's fun. I've been sleeping in my wife's car under the Buick Enclave. Turned the Buick Enclave into a camper tour bus. She's not happy, but
Nice.
it is what it is. Well, her car gets 100 and something miles more than mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
She gets 460 miles a tank in her Buick Enclave versus my 350. That's a
Yeah.
lot of freaking money. And by the way, Illinois has the most highest gas prices in America, $3.89 a gallon. I couldn't get out of that state fast enough. The gas is ridiculously overpriced.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I mean, you go one state over and it drops 30 cents. It's like insanity. Anyways,
It's crazy.
it's a period. So anyway, but yeah, it's been great. And and like what I was saying was I'm riding up and down the road going, doing these 6 hours, 12 hours, 6 hour runs, and people are just messaging me, hey man, you available? You available? You available? I'm like, yeah. I was like, hold on, look at my calendar. I had so many when I got home, and I was like, I gotta sit down. And then I got 4 more Monday, and then I was like messaging everybody. It's like, hey, I know you sent me and we just locked down some shows. Can you send me what I agreed to? Because I gotta make sure I'm not double booking nobody.
Yeah.
And then coming in so fast, I'm like, I got to sit down and get all this together. And now as I'm putting them on there, so like I said, I do like 3. I can't complain. I do 2, 3 shows. I get 4 or 5. I'm getting like 4 or 5 right as I'm doing it. It's just like,
Now, where does the point of you stop driving and flying come into effect?
it won't, because some of these places that I go to, there's not an airport near there, and it's not worth It's not worth flying into a major airport and then renting a car to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's what I was wondering.
Counterproductive. It's counterproductive, and the money's not there.
That's what I was wondering, because I see where some of them are, and I'm like, holy crap, that's a lot of driving.
Yeah, it's cheaper and easier for me to get there by car and cost effective, because I make enough on the shows that it covers gas typically.
Yeah.
Typically, I'm in a hole a little bit, so it's up to me to do my job to do a good show. People, when I say people buy merch, and I do this whole spiel, it's like, hey, this is how we make this is how we make a living. Because literally by the time I get there, I have to spend all the money they were going to pay me on the show in gas.
Yeah.
At that point, I have to sell merchandise to make it worth my while to be there, to either make up for the gas I'm negative on.
Yeah.
Or at the same time be able to make money to come home and have money to pay bills and do things, and at least, not like, well, I didn't make a dime. I just broke even, which is fine, but you can't do it all the time.
So now we need to wrap the Buick Enclave with Andy Gunnin on it.
Yeah, we can probably do that. Yeah. That's gonna happen. Yeah. My wife was like, well, what if you come home and the Tacoma's gone and there's another Enclave? I go, high five, go with God, because this is more important. Screw the Tacoma. Screw the Tacoma. Dude, it's awesome. It's better in a hotel room, because here's the thing. That Buick Enclave is nicer than most hotel rooms, okay?
Yeah.
I've got my speaker in there. I got a bucket with all my mic stands and equipment, and then I've got my merch bag. And then I've got a backpack, and there's room for my Yeti cooler under it, and then I got this twin mattress. It's more comfortable in a hotel room. It's more comfortable than my bedroom.
And there's no roaches.
No roaches, no bed bugs.
Yeah.
You don't have to look. Here's the thing: you don't have to check in at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, because you were driving 3 hours to get to the next show. You just pull over.
Yeah.
Go inside of Love's, take a pee, do whatever, and then crawl in the back, lay down, and you get 4 or 5 solid hours. You pop up, no checkout, no packing a bag.
Yeah.
No $100. I was getting where I was like, I'm wasting $100, $120 in an hour of productive driving or more.
Yeah. Well, by the time you check in and check out, you've wasted money right there anyways.
Wasted money, wasted time. And when I went to Virginia a couple of weeks back, when I was going to do the Bonkers and the Pennsylvania shows, I realized, because I had booked a hotel ahead, and said, well, I'll stop there. It gives me 3 hours short of where I need to be to do the show tomorrow. I take my time. Virginia shut down the highway twice, and I sat in standstill traffic for 3.5 hours looking at a hotel at an exit going, had I not already pre-booked and unable to cancel, I could have just pulled over and stayed at that hotel and saved myself sitting and wasting 3 hours of my life in traffic.
Yeah.
I said, we're going to stop this right now. There's no more guessing. I'm not going to play this. We're sold out. We're booked up. I am totally going to figure out a self-maintaining way that I can keep moving, take these shows, not be, take every show that's offered to me and save money. And so I can break even and keep moving and get there in a timely fashion and make money or make money. And that's when I tell my wife, when she went, because she went with me to last 2 weeks ago to Cardington, to Club Flamingo, because her friend lives up there in Ohio who she used to work with, and so she wanted to come see the show because it was in her neck of the woods. And she goes, well, I want to go hang out with her. I go, great, high five. I said, now this is a turning bar and we're going up. doing the show. We're coming back about 2 to 3 hours. Nappy with the hotel room. Guess what? We get to the hotel room. We get to the hotel. She goes, I'll book it. I got it under my apps. I'm okay. You book it under your little Marriott things. Guess what? We walked into a nightmare, just like what I had been telling her. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. They're having a meltdown at the desk. Apparently, they're overbooked. The computer system did not shut down. It was taking reservations for more rooms than they had. The chick was losing her mind. She was some 20-something-year-old chick going, I'm having a mental breakdown. I can't handle this. Calling the manager, going, there's people are staring. My wife's like in the lead executive with Marriott points and going, and there's 3 guys. There's a drunk guy behind us going, what the hell's going on? And I'm like, and I looked at it. I go, do you see why I want a motorhome?
Yeah.
Do you see why I told you I'm about to take your Enclave from you next week and put a twin mattress, air mattress in it?
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I had the most relaxing, productive 2,200 miles. I even got to go see Abraham Lincoln's house because I got to Springfield early.
Yeah.
And his house was there. I didn't realize it. So I went to his house on April 14th. Guess what April 14th is? Guess what? Didn't realize it. Guess what April 14th is? Abraham Lincoln, the day he got shot by Booth in the theater, is April 14th. And I was at his house, holding and touching his things in his house on the 158th year since of his getting shot in the head.
See, that's the thing. When you're driving to these shows, you can find stuff like that and do some enjoyment with it.
Right. So here I'm like, this is so cool. I'm like in his house. I would have never thought about doing that. Yeah. And I got one of those little passports so you can get the stamp. So I got the stamp. So I was there on that. And I was like, hey, and so when the tour guy tells us, I was like, dang, I go, man, that's awesome. I said, and I got on the last tour at 4:15, which the last tour was 4:30. It was 30 minutes, 5 o'clock. I still got to go to the show. I was fit. I was 8 miles from the show. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is awesome. And they were like, what? I go, did you have a gun? I was like, yeah. I said, dude, I just took a shot in the dark to come see his house. Like he took a shot in the dark 158 years ago. Yeah, nobody else liked that joke either.
Oh, God. But like I said, when you're doing it this way, you're getting more energy and it's bringing more performance to you.
Yeah, and I can leave earlier. And I'm not beholden to an airline. I'm not having to rush, worried about them canceled, delayed flight. And it's like I told my wife, I said, here's why I want the Enclave. Here's why I want Monroe. I don't want to be like some of these comedians, and it can happen. And there's even some of the big guys, like Tim Dillon and a few other guys that recently have had to cancel and not make shows because they're trying to fly out on that Thursday that they're supposed to be at the venue to do a show. And then the airlines are becoming are not becoming consistent. They're becoming not dependable. Nobody's flying out a day early because the venues don't want to pay for a day early or a day early in the hotels if they don't have a condo. So a lot of these places own a condo, so they just put them up in it. But they're still flying them out on the day they're supposed to do the first show. And then if they don't get on the plane, then they got to rent a car and drive. So they missed their first 2 shows and they go, oh, we'll make them up. We'll just come do this Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. What if people already got babysitters? People have work on Monday, Tuesday. They spend all this money and then you got the hassle. You got the disappointment. You got this and you got and I'm like, I don't want that ever to happen. It might happen, but it will be so far out of my control. It's unbelievable. It'll be some crazy weather act of God, not an act of the airlines. Not an act of stupidity for the airlines or overbooking or, I'm going to have control. And if I've got to leave a day or 2 early to make that happen, that's fine. And that's what I'm doing. I'm even leaving a day or 2 early just to go like 8 hours, sleep somewhere. I'm within 3 hours of reaching distance. So if something weird happens, I can still get there.
Yeah.
And not have to cancel a show or be a no-show or anything. That is my worst fears, to be a no-show or cancel anything because I was rushing to push a 9-hour drive that took 12 to the day of the show. Well,
the thing is, one bad review cancels all your good ones.
Yeah, and you don't want that. And look, things can happen, but it's going to be so far out there. It's going to be so hard because I told Liz, I was like, I don't care how big I get. Even if I get as big as some of these big guys like Tim Dillon, whoever, if I get that, I'm still going to have a bus, still going to have an RV, and we're going to go.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to fly, we're flying a day before I'm supposed to start the show.
Yeah.
It will be on a Wednesday. If I'm supposed to be there on Thursday, we're going across the country. But like, you're flying me out Wednesday morning. First thing Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
So if I get bumped and something happens that morning with a flight and I go, screw it, I can walk out of the airport. By 12 o'clock, I can be in my RV or whatever and moving towards the goal.
Right now, you need to get a Sprinter van.
You know, I looked at it. I don't fit, dude. I'm so big. I don't fit comfortably in a lot of stuff. And my wife's like, well, we need one so I can fit in it. And, you know, she needs more room because she's got all this stuff. And then she goes, well, we also need room for Riley, too. So
Yeah.
she can come with us. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like looking at an E350. So the reason why I'm looking at the E350 van is because it got the front end van.
Yep.
So my wife could actually get in there and drive it and feel like she's driving a van or a car and not driving a big RV. Because she's like, oh, she's like, I'm not. I was like, I'm gonna need some help driving at some point.
Yeah.
So y'all gonna need to feel comfortable. I feel more comfortable driving a car. So then we'll get an E350 because the E350 has the van front nose, the van front, but it's got the overhead bunk. It's got now they got the 3 slide outs, so we can pop out.
Yeah, they're definitely a lot nicer than they used to be.
Yeah, a lot nicer, and I can fit on the beds, and I can actually get an extension on the bed. So I actually my 6'2" ass can fit on the bed.
I don't have that issue.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get one with a bunk that way. I'm like, all right, Jody, come on. So yeah, so I said that's what I'm gonna get. So that way and she goes, oh, okay. She looked at him and now she's seen him going over there. She goes, oh, I would feel comfortable driving that because mentally I'm thinking I'm driving a van and not this big ass. And it's mental. It's all mental.
Yeah, it is.
You know as well as I do.
Yeah.
But I get it. I understand. You never done that. You know, it's and I'm like, hey, I may need you to drive an hour or two and then me take a nap. But see, that's the other thing. Is I was getting to these venues, and I even got to one of the shows so early. Like I went to a Love's gas station, 3 hours down the road. It's like, hey, I'm 3 hours down the road. It's an hour down the road. So this is the closest Love's gas station, closest place I could get. I laid in the back, turned on the AC, took a nap, laid around for an hour and a half, 2 hours, relaxed, rented a $10 shower at Love's, took a shower, came out. I felt like amazing.
Yeah.
Did the show, relaxed and easy. I was there way ahead. On time, everything it was nice. I don't like to be rushed. And everything went good. Had a good show. And then I got back in the car and I drove. And I got home at a decent time. So I'm like, this is the way I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
You're not going to make it hard on me or my mental or physical and all that. We're going to do.
Like I said, you just start stressing out, and then that makes a bad routine.
Makes a bad routine. I'm already mad. I can't wind down. Once I get wound up, dude, it takes a minute for me to wind and calm down and get unmad or unfrustrated or like it comes out like I can't stop it. I can't turn it off. It's like once it's there, it's got to cycle out, and it ain't an easy cycle out.
That kid-friendly show just went out the door.
Yeah, that kid-friendly show went out the door. It did. No one. Yeah. So, and my whole thing is like, look, I'm not going to be, and I'm too early in this thing to like be calling bookers and clubs and going, I screwed up or I can't get there. Yeah. That's a bad look. You do that one time, you may never get booked again. You may never be allowed to come back. You're untrustworthy. You should have planned. And that is one thing I am not. And I've got some big ones coming up in Wisconsin. And I'm like, I'm leaving. I told my wife, I'm going to be gone for a week and a half with this one point coming up because I'm going to be up in Kentucky, and then I got to bank over to Wisconsin and Nebraska, and then I got to come back because there's some other shows back across. So I'm just going to live out there for 2 days, in between, and visit some of these clubs and stuff. So there's going to be a week and a half. I'm just on the road circling the Midwest before I come back instead of going up and coming back and going up. So it's going to work out where I can stop and hang out at some of these cities with clubs and introduce myself. Like, hey, I've been emailing you. I don't know, and you don't know me from Adam. Who do I actually, am I sending it to the right people?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering is when you're out, are you making like a list of clubs in that area?
And that's the other thing. That's this part 2 that's happening now that I can have taking her car and being able to sleep in it and all that stuff. It's like, hey, I'm here. What's your process? I've been emailing you. I know that's not the process. You need to get it. Do you need me to do a guest spot real quick? Do I need to come back and do what are we doing? What are we talking about? Tell me what you need from me and what you need me to do, and we'll move forward.
Yeah.
If not, high fives, good meeting you. You'll book me when I get bigger, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of. So yeah, so that is part of the program.
And it makes you wonder, like back in the like 80s and stuff, when comedy was just a huge thing, and people were traveling more. If that's why it was so much bigger.
No, it wasn't so much bigger. It was on a new wave because stand up comedy really get invented. Lenny Bruce, basically invented the stand up comedy that we know as of today in the 50s.
Yeah.
And so that it took 10, 20 years for it to develop. And in the 80s, we were in an economy boom across, within ourselves, financially, economically. The people were like wanting to go out and have fun and spend money. Cocaine was flowing. It was good. It was fentanyl free. I mean, everybody, people want to return customers. It was all, and so everybody wanted to laugh and have fun. And it was just, it had elevated and worked its way through the 60s and 70s, and all of a sudden the 80s, there was this big boom because comedians just coming out and doing things nobody had ever seen because it was basically still brand new.
Yeah. Okay.
Not everything had been done or talked about yet.
Yeah.
So that's another, and that was harder for those guys because they actually had to like make a VHS tape and all these pictures and spend like $15-$20 on a packet and drop it off at a club and hope to God they got it. And they would, then the clubs have to. So now it's just like all digital. It's like boop, 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 an email. But these guys are getting so many email. They're just like either looking at them or not.
Yeah.
And now there's so many people in their area. They're like, I can just hire a guy right here. Why do I want you? And you got to go, okay, here's why you want me. Put me on stage for 5 minutes and I'll show you real quick why you want me.
Yeah.
So that's the new game.
That's crazy.
And you can email people all you want out of the blue, but unless you got a big TikTok following or something big enough to go, hey, they're like, why are you so special? Well, get me in front of a live crowd in your room, and I'll show you why.
Yeah.
And so that's the next step. That's what I'm doing. So
that's what it takes.
That's what it takes. That's what. And then it's working out. I mean, last night I was at the Punchline, part of the World Series of Comedy.
Yep.
Had a great show. Mookie got third place, aka Mookie, one of our guests, friends, local comedians and buddies of mine. I was really happy for him. I had a great set. The owner of Punchline came to me and talked to me after, told me I had an awesome set and was going to book me on some punchlines, some more Punchline shows. They're doing some outdoor clean shows this summer, summer tour thing for. So they're going to book me on that. So I'm getting some more work with the club. Can't complain. I'm very happy. So we're just going to keep moving forward.
That's what it says. Just keep chugging.
Keep chugging. Everybody likes me talking about the tranny beers, though. I don't know if we did we talk about that last podcast, tranny beers?
We did.
Man, dude, I've been talking about that on stage. It has people pull back, but then they come back in because I got this whole new take on why are you mad? Don't be mad.
Yeah.
Embrace it, because now we can just scream tranny. And I mean, and everybody's like, "What?" I'm like, "Look, it just, I told it, I was like, it just makes the term sucking down tall boys a whole different thing." And now we know we're talking about Bud Light, and people are like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, they just put the cock and tail and cocktail. That's all they did. And everybody's like, "Oh my God, and I go, that's what they did. They just finally put a cock and tail and cocktail." Thank you. Thank you.
Oh God.
That's how I start every show now. Because it gets people reaction. Like you're like, all right, let's talk about tranny beers. Everybody goes and pulls back. I'm like, here we go.
Yeah. Let's break some ice.
Break some ice. You think I'm gonna like this slide by? You think I'm not gonna start a show talking about tranny beers? Of course
God.
we are.
Now, as being a comedian and stuff like that, how long do you go with that before you drop that and ad?
Oh, it's a burnout. It's a slow burnout. And I like starting shows with something in that I know I'm not going to be able to use forever. Maybe able to use it for a week or two. I like it because it's current event-ish.
Yeah.
It pushes me to write something and be creative with something current event-ish and test a room.
Yeah.
It was real funny 2 weeks ago because when I did it at the show in Club Flamingo, my wife was in and at the end of the show, had a great show. Sold all that merch.
Yeah.
Sitting in the car, leaving. She goes, "What were you saying up there on stage?" And I go, "I was up there 40 minutes. I said a lot of crap. What are you?
Yeah.
What?" She goes, "Something beers. Something beers." And I go, "What?" I'm not even thinking the intro. And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "What are you?" She goes, "Training beers? Or are you talking about training beer?" And I'm like, "Train?" I go, "You having a stroke?" And she's like, "No, train. What?" And I go, "You talking about what I talked about at the very beginning?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "Tranny beers." She goes, "What is tranny beers?" I go, "You don't know what's been going on in the world." She goes, "No, I've been working." I'm like, "They put a tranny on a beer can and is now the new spokesperson for Bud Light. A transvestite, a transsexual, a dude in a dress that identifies as a woman and blah, 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 that has fake boobs and a ding dong and all this still." She was like, "What?" And I go, "Yeah." And I go, "Here's a picture of the can.
Yeah.
Everybody in there knew what I was talking about. How come you don't?" She goes, "Oh," and I'm like, "You better stay up with current event and stay on point." And that's what I'm
Yeah.
the whole.
That's why I was wondering how long it takes, because there are people out there who have no clue.
Yeah. Oh, well,
So
dude, there was a whole set of bikers drinking beer in biker gear, and they were training. I go, "Where's my?" And they held. I go, "There's my tranny boys. There they are. So they can kick my ass." But here we go. I go now, and then I went into the sucking tall boys. And I was like, and I went further in, and they were just dying. They're like, "Oh my
yeah.
God." And then when I said, they go, "Oh my God, the guy clapped." He goes, "You are so right." He goes, "You got us." I go, "No, I'm drinking Bud Light now too." But yeah, and I was like, and you can tell a couple people were like, kind of like, "What?" And they were trying, but everybody knew, everybody in the bar knew, because it's a bar, it's a bar, everybody's drinking. So they've all talked about it. It already been out for a few days, so I mean, all your beer drinkers, So I'm not gonna roll into. Well, now everybody should know about it, and if you don't know about it at this point, it's been a few weeks.
Yeah.
You're just not paying attention to Jack Dick, and you're off in a cave somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody knew. Except for my wife, apparently. So she had to catch up. And then I showed her a video. I was like, "Oh, by the way, Trading Beer still holds true. I just did it this past weekend at every show, and everybody loved it." They had the same reaction, pull back, like, "Oh God, what is he going to talk about?" Like everybody wanted to be mad. I go, "Stop being mad.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Let's embrace this for what it is." They're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
So you're able to take a negative, and my whole point is to take a negative, an extreme negative, and flip it on its side to make it. Let's look at the positive side.
Yeah.
Let's have fun with this. Let's enjoy what we have here.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy.
Well, I mean, if it's going to be out there, you might as well have both sides.
Have both sides, and that's what I like to do. A little current event thing, have fun with it. Test my writing. See how good I can come up with something on it, and get people's reaction. And say, "Hey, look," and then pull back. And then I may in 4 weeks, it may burn out and it may be over. And I'll feel it and I'll figure it out. First, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's kind of over. It's overdone. Hadn't been overdone yet. I have not seen a lot of things out there on it. I have not seen a lot of stand-up comedians do. I'm about to release a clip today from one of the shows, me doing those couple of bits just to show people how, and somebody may do one so much better. That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's what comedy's for.
Yeah, it's about improving.
And I may be, I may be just using the quick, easy tagline stuff, and there may be a more developed, and I may develop a better joke out of it.
Yeah.
I may develop a joke that's similar, but outside of it that I can use for now and forever.
Yeah.
Because I'm testing myself, I'm doing different things.
Well, the thing is, you write these, and you can lead it to something else.
Yeah.
Of a whole other topic.
Yep.
Yep.
Because my feeling is you need to be able to talk about everything, even if you're a clean comic, dirty, clean, and being clean, and trying to be clean, trying to be PG-13 like I do. And I've gotten a little PG, more 13. It's just for some of these bar shows because they're like, we want a little bit more, and I can kind of tell they want me to go a little bit more to the edge or over the edge, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing. And but without cussing. And dropping the F-bombs.
Yeah.
But I need to be able to talk comfortably about topics that are uncomfortable to talk about for me and for the audience. I'm
Yeah.
comfortable with it now because I'm
Yeah.
enjoying it. I'm like,
Yeah.
they're uncomfortable. So that uncomfortable allows me to take them out to an area they didn't want to be and then bring them back to an area they wanted.
Yeah.
That they didn't expect to see coming with a different view and a different angle of like, I'm not here to be, let's go, you've got to conform. No, let's talk about the absolute stupidity in this.
Yeah.
And
the thing is, when you start doing it that way, you start grabbing attention because people respect that.
Yeah, it's like, let's talk about that. Everything's got every side, and I tell people at every side, it's like, because a lot of these places I'm going to are doing comedy for the first time, and I'm being used as the break-in guy with Bar Comedy USA, and that's fine. I'm cool with that. I like that because I'm like, have you ever been to a comedy show? The comedy go, we're here to have fun. Everything, and I tell everybody, everything is funny.
Yeah.
There is a funny angle to everything, even in death and whatever. And if you are on some political high point, or you're sensitive, or whatever, there's enough negativity in the world and on social media. We don't need it here for the next hour and a half. If you are going to get offended and easily offended about any topic, I don't care what it is, there's the door.
Yeah.
You have your out.
Yeah.
Other than that, if you don't like it, just don't laugh.
Yeah.
We'll see you. We'll get it. Some other people may laugh. And if nobody laughs, we'll move on.
Yeah.
I promise you. Our job is to get laughs, not silence. And I go, we all cool? They go, good. I go, now let's talk about tranny beers. And I go, oh, shit. They're like, ah.
Oh, God. Yeah, but like you said, I mean, I don't understand because I watched like online and stuff, and I don't understand people coming to a show being so sensitive when you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, some of them don't. Some of them are just like, oh, I'm here to laugh. Or and some people come to be offended. And some people are like, and some people like are entitled. They feel entitled to be offended. And they're supposed to be. They're supposed to carry this badge of offendedness and wokeness. And you can't, like, I forget who it was. I saw a clip yesterday. I'm not on TikTok as much as I was. I'm just trying to load videos and walk on and get off and not pay attention. I got too many other things going on. But this lady, he said, what did he say? He said, ladies, address as lady. Hold on, I want to pull it up. I should pull it up. I think I liked it. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up because I don't want to miss it. I don't want to. It's not that I'm scared of being canceled. I want to talk about it for what it is.
Correctly, yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupidity is what it is. Okay, I didn't like it. I'm sure it'll come back up on my feed at some point, but not right now. I'm not going to scroll for an hour to figure it out. But the comedian was setting up a joke, and he didn't say anything offensive. He just said "ladies" or something like that. It was just very. That's all it literally was. And this lady goes, "You can't say that." He's like, "What?" And this lady in front of him goes, "You can't say that. That's sexual harassment."
Wow.
He was like, "What?" She's like, "That's no. No, it wasn't ladies. He was she said that's sexual harassment. He said pretty ladies is what it was. He said pretty ladies. She said you can't say that. He goes, what? She goes, that's sexual harassment. She yells, sexual harassment. That's sexual harassment. He said, to say pretty ladies? And she goes, oh, no, sexy ladies. Sexy ladies. And he goes, yeah. And she goes, yeah, that's sexual harassment. He goes, okay, you dumb, ugly cunt bitch. I was like, and for the win. He goes, better?
Yeah.
Oh, for the win. I don't know if I would have thought it. I don't know that it would have come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And I was like, kudos to you, brother.
Yeah.
Freak yeah. She was like, and everybody just died. Like, what you got now? What you got now, Mr. Vincent? What you got now? And that's what I'm like. And he was like, and I was like, that's the way you just whack. Let me shut this down with a thunder. You want you want to get offended? Okay, well here, let me give you something to get offended by.
Yeah. But like with you being like such a clean comic, you know, how can you pull that out and not be so abrupt?
Oh, you had to step out of that for a minute, and people will forgive you for that, and the audience will forgive you. So, and there's times you can step out of that and have, and I have, and I've stepped out and said a little word like shit or ass, you know, in the moment that it worked, and people went along, and I was forgiven, and just kept moving on. It didn't change anything. I knew that word was going to elevate where everything was going, so I just said it. Now I'm not up there dropping F-bombs, and I'm not dropping, you know, dicks or the P.
That's why I was wondering where that line of what it is.
Yeah, you know, and it's one of those things you start figuring out, and I've started being able to figure out and read those things. It's like, okay, I can say shit here, I can say ass. It's not that big. It doesn't take me out of being a clean comedian at all.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't take. It's just in that moment, you know. Hell, Jeff Foxworthy for years when if you go back and watch his club sets from the Punchline, he said shit and he said he cussed a little. He didn't say all these graphic things about, you know, body parts like dicks and pussies and all that stuff. He didn't say none of that or F-bombs. But in the moment, he would just say these little words that you, and I've done that, and I've had that happen where I, you know, and when my buddy AJ called, he goes, you cuss for because I said like bullshit. I said bullshit in the moment because everybody was like, I was like, oh bullshit, you know, and everybody's like, because it was funny because it was a interacting moment with me and the audience and that person, and it fit and it worked. No other word would have worked, and just elevated. And then he goes, but it worked, and you did it right in the right spot at the right time, and you're still considered clean because you did what you needed to. And he goes, that was perfect. And I go, so that's you know. But yes, I do say, and I try to find words to say different things, and they work, and it works better a lot of times than cussing. But sometimes you just throw one in it; it's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering because
your PG-13. I look at everything as PG-13 rating because here's, you know, I think we've talked about it before. PG-13 rating in the movies, whatever everything is, one F word gets you a PG-13 rating no matter what else is said. No other cuss words. If you drop one F-bomb, it takes you to a PG-13 automatically. If there's no F-bombs, you can say shit, ass, all these different things. Does not. The F word takes it to PG-13. One more takes it to R. That's how the ratings go.
That's nice.
And everybody goes, well, clean comedy is subjective. And I go, okay, you're correct.
Yeah.
And I've had this conversation about this new bit, Sexy Dice, I do. I don't cuss in it. It's a funny bit. It's probably one of the best bits I have right now. It's become one of the best. I don't know, a closing bit. I did it last night. It gets laughs. It builds. It builds. It builds. It's an amazing joke. It gets people belly laughing. It gets people's. I'm like, it's this really good bit. It's just working out and becoming amazing. And some lady told I did a show. Goes, oh, he's not clean. Now, I don't talk about any sexual body. I talk about it's a sex game between me and my wife, and I just walk you through the game. And it's fun. I don't say any sexual body parts. I talk about it, and then I never cuss. I never, and people just die, and it's totally clean. Now, what takes it out of it is there's me doing some thrusting motions, describing some things that goes on in the game that's hilarious. That happens totally in a reverse aspect you don't see happening.
Yeah.
But that is not technically dirty. And this lady goes, well, that's your version. And it comes find out it was a church group. And I'm like, okay, you want church comedy. You don't need to be here.
Yeah.
You need to be back at your church bringing in a Christian comedian that talks nothing about relationships and all that. And the thing
is, though, is even though she didn't like it, she's gonna go back and tell 100 people.
Yeah.
So your name just went to another 100 people.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So.
And none of my stuff offends me, and and the fact that I did the whole bit, and then the owner of the Punchline said, "Hey, I need to book you on some of our clean outdoor shows. By the way, you're being hired and clean. You're being hired to do these shows, not to host, to do these shows." And I'm like, "Oh yeah." He's like,
"Yeah."
He goes, "I loved it. It was great." I go, "High five."
No, it's kind of cool to watch them where when I started, back contacting you and stuff, and where you are now, how much it's skyrocketed.
I don't know about skyrocketing, but it has built momentum.
It's getting there. Yeah.
It's built momentum.
Yeah.
It's definitely built. I'm doing more than I ever have. I'm doing things I didn't think I'd be doing right now. I wanted to. That was my goal.
Yeah.
And now I'm just trying to keep it and build it and just keep it going. So I mean, you never know when it's going to happen. You kind of just keep setting goals, keep pushing towards it, and and just see where it goes. I got to go do a photo shoot today. That's why we're doing this early, because I got to go do some new headshots. I was finally like, I got to actually have headshots. The ones I have, I stole from my company that I worked for 4 years ago. They did them for free.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to go actually do some promo. I got to pay somebody to actually do it. And luckily enough, I've sold enough merch. Thank you, everybody who's bought shirts and ordered a shirt. I'm able to afford to go do a headshot and promo sessions, because when the Comedy Zone said, "Hey, we need your headshot and bio," and I go, "Okay," and I sent them, and I was like, I need some updated shit.
Yeah.
I was like, if we're starting to play with the big boys in the clubs, and I'm getting hired as a feature clubs, we need some updated stuff. So let's step up. Let's step up and do this.
I forgot what movie it was. They messaged me back in 2018-19. They're like, "We need some headshots." We were at Disney.
Yeah.
I stood by a tree. Wife took some ugly pictures. Here you go.
Well, that's what they want now, though.
Yeah.
They don't want the nice, clean, pristine stuff. They don't want that. The clubs do, and I need it for the website stuff and some things like that. But they don't want that stuff anymore. You know that.
Yeah.
They want natural. They want no makeup, harsh light, no background. What you got, buddy? What you look like right now?
So why do clubs want it to be all pristine and nice?
They want, they
just
want
for advertising.
Just for advertising, clean. You want a clean, high resolution. Something that looks good and clean. You can do whatever, but you don't want grainy and all that stuff. I mean, you can do iPhones now are amazing. I mean, you can do some really cool stuff, but for a poster, because you don't know what they're going to do with it, and you want it to be able to transition through all the different layers of things they're going to do, whether it's a on screen. Like I got to that one show, dude, they had this monster. I don't know if you saw the pictures. They had this monster screen in the back of us. And they were like, and they said, "We're going to turn that off." And I was like, "It's a Jumbotron." And I was like, "Y'all have this on for bands and stuff?" They're like, "Yeah." And I go, "Well," they go, "What do we do for comedy?" I go, "Do me a favor, take the poster you made and just put the poster up behind us." So now this is, but they had stole a picture of me off of a photo of me and Liz in Vegas and cropped my head out. I go, "Wait, I got better pictures than that, dude. Why did you use that one?" They go, "Oh," and the guy was like, "I just went on your Facebook page and stole that off." I go, "No, go to my comedy page, dude." He goes, "You got a comedy page?" And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus." I'm like, now it was okay. But what I'm saying is comedy clubs that are actually comedy clubs that know how to promote and do different posters and you want them to have a thing that's clear enough and clean enough that when they put it on there and they go over different platforms that it
progresses over.
You know how you go, it's like you go from a copy to a copy, and it just gets downgraded from there. So you won't be able to send them the highest resolution thing you got right out of the gate. So when they transfer it to theirs, it's already one step down. It's already 2 steps down at that point, and it just starts getting worse the more you do it. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay, cool.
Kinda.
Sometimes I talk and I'm like, did that make sense? I think it did.
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering because, some places are more like roughneck, so I didn't know why they would want something so pristine.
comedy zones, punchlines, things like that. When you step up into the big professional circle, they you want something that's clean and nice, and that you've put some effort into and some money in doing that. And they're like, oh, this is just a jackknob who's getting a picture in the back. Is this an open micer? I mean, what's going on? So it's part of looking professional. It's like having a business card. It's like being out there and being a sales guy and going, you got a card? No.
Yeah. Okay.
What? You don't got a business card? Nope. But I want to do business with you. You got a cell phone? Nope. It's just part of your portfolio, part of being because you're a sales guy at the end of the day. What people don't realize, and a lot of these comedians and a lot of guys don't realize, that you are a business. You are a business. You're a sales guy. You are here to sell jokes. Your product is making people laugh. Your product is your whole set, your act. That is what you are selling to promoters to buy, to put out there, and then you're producing that. That is your production. You are there to sell yourself to get booked and look good, booked as a professional. So like me as a sales guy, 25 years of sales, if I walked into a builder's office in a t-shirt and jeans and no cell phone, no business card, hey man, I want to sell you building material, they'd be like, what? And then I want you to entrust me with $2 million of your business.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what? Oh yeah, I don't have an Nextel. I don't have a cell phone. I don't have a computer. I don't have business cards. You just gotta trust me, bro. I'd be like, what? I'm gonna trust you $2 million in my business. What?
Yeah.
You
had Nextel.
You're a sales guy. At the end of the day, you've got to have everything together. You've got to have you got to have a Facebook page. You got to have a website. You got to have decent, good looking headshots. You got to have you got to look like, you're actually trying to do something professional and do something.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not an open mic or some jackknob, like, well, you got to invest in yourself. I mean, I started a business out of a garage. I started $1 million business out of a garage that went from $30,000 a month to almost what I said, I think we went $80,000 a month in my first 6 months, and then they're $1 million a year out of the garage. Now, when I rolled up the people's doorstep, hey man, hire me. Look, I had taken a shower. I had a decent shirt on. I had a business card. I had all the things that said, okay, this guy looks like he has a product to sell and he could do. So they gave me a chance and opportunity. Same thing with comedy. You got to look like you got everything together, and you got to have a package.
Yeah.
You got to have something. You got to have a little package. You got to head, and it's not hard. It's not complicated. A lot of these guys go, I don't understand that. We're just about to hear back. You're not a class clown. You're a class clown, but you're a business first. You're a sales guy, and then you're selling shirts. Then you're selling merch in your act, and then you're selling advertising. Because now you're a sales guy. Because now you got to make money. That's how you got to make money for gas. You got to live. Now you're selling t-shirts. Now you're selling t-shirts to these people that you've sold yourself to the club. They're putting you in front of 100, 200 people of their customers. You've got to entertain them with your product, do a good product to be rehired. And then now you've got to do such a good product that you're able to sell your merch to them. And then sell the merch after with a smile and, have a good product and look somewhat together.
Yeah. And I've started to notice that, like the TikTok and the branding and all that stuff. Everybody's got like a little portfolio that they're giving companies, and that's what I'm working on now.
Yep. I mean, it's all about business and what you got. It's like you got to package it and have yourself something. You're a salesperson. You're a salesperson. Sales isn't everything. What people don't understand. That's why a lot of these communities they go, oh, it takes 10, 15 years. No, it takes 10, 15 years for you to learn business because you don't know business. Save your ass in a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've had 25 years of business in my back end. Some of it entertainment, but a lot of it sales. And that's all you're doing out here. You're an independent sales guy, hoping to God these people like you. Show up on time. I'm doing the same thing I did when I sold building material. The difference is it's not building material, it's jokes. It's comedy.
You're a door-to-door vacuum seller.
Yeah. I'm a door-to-door ha-ha salesman. And then I'm really selling t-shirts at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because everything's built around me being able to sell some shirts.
Yeah.
And some hats and some koozies at the end of the day so I can actually make money. That's
Sleep in a
what it
Buick.
is. That's all it is. That's what it is. And we could have
Yeah.
fun doing it, and it's a fun
Yeah.
thing, but it's a
Yeah.
business. It's work.
Yeah.
It's like I was telling my buddy. It's like I was telling Mookie yesterday, and he asked me some questions. I go, "You understand? I'm doing what I'm doing right now." And I said, I'm not bragging, but I said everything that I started a year ago to get to this path, to this many shows and this many feature work. I started a year ago, and I started a plan, and I started a path, and started a motion. And I said,
Yeah.
it's every day. I said, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I get up at 6, 7 a.m. I'm emailing bookers, and I'm emailing people, and they're messaging me back. Hey, we got a show here. Do you want it? Yes, I'd love to be considered for that. I'm available. Here's my avail. I'm constantly changing the website, adding this stuff. I go, by the time I look up, it's 3, 4 o'clock, and my wife's like, what have you been doing? I go, well, I've emailed all these people. I'm doing a sales job. I'm running a business 24/7. Now, you either, and now that you hear these guys, like you do this professionally. Yeah, we're not sitting around all day eating Cheetos, smoking weed on the couch. If that's what you're doing, you're not going to become the next big thing or become make a living in it. You've got to actually be working and emailing people. And the bookings to clubs happen between Monday and Wednesday. Sometimes Thursday, but Monday and Wednesday is when they're restocking and stuff. They'll go, oh, we got to book out. That's when they book, because Thursday through Saturday and Sunday they're running the club.
Yeah. Now, if you had a full-time job, how much harder would that be?
So much harder.
Yeah.
It's so much harder. It's almost impossible to get to a point. And I'm having that conversation with a lot of guys that I'm doing this with, and they're like, holy cow. And I'm like, guys, this is all I have to do right now. This is all I do.
Yeah.
Me and my wife made it. We have things in a different way that unfortunately you may or may not have.
Yeah.
But we made a commitment. It's like, he goes, go do it, get this thing done, break even or make money. And I go, I can break even or make money. I can do that. I can break even and make. Got it. I'm a sales guy. I'll figure it out. You give me that chance, I'm gone. And so that's what I've been doing. But it's an everyday thing. It's constant every day. It's a goal every day. I have goals every day, just like I did when I sold it. I got to talk to this many people. I got to email this many people. I got to check my evals. I got to update my website. I need to get new pictures to make it look better. I need to change some stuff. I'm writing jokes. I'm adding new stuff. I got this whole new sexy dice bit. Now I'm changing it around in my and I'm going, oh, is this going to work? So I'm constantly working on stuff all day long. And then I still got to cut my grass and do chores, and I got to, do the laundry. Yeah. So that's Monday, Tuesday. And then I'm doing that stuff, boom, 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 boom. Because if I'm out there doing ha-has all over the country, Wednesday through Sunday, someone's got to cut the grass around here. So someone's still got to do laundry. Yeah. My wife's working to make the living to keep our bills going while I'm trying to make money to pay and now my business, my comedy business, is fully functional and self-maintained.
Yeah. Well, that way in the long run, when she gets ready to retire, your stuff y'all can travel.
Oh, yeah.
And still do it.
Travel now with me. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about getting a motorhome now so I can start, because the way we're going, the path I'm going, my goal is to keep this thing going. Yeah. And I want to keep going with an RV and her be able to go with me and work out of it and just ride down the road and she work out of it. And then I'll be closer to the shows and we're all together.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, that sounds great.
Win-win situation.
Win-win situation. Make it all win. And so that's what. And a lot of like I said, a lot of the new guys, a lot of comedians got. I'm talking to their friends of mine. They're like trying to go to that next level. I'm like, you got to understand. There's going to be a point where you're going to have to step outside of what you're doing as for a living. You may have to quit it.
Yeah.
You're going to have to quit it and walk away from it. And you better start making a plan to do that, to transition.
And the thing is, to some people, that's a scary concept.
It's a very scary concept because they've never had to invest in themselves and be out here without a paycheck coming every Thursday or Friday. I've had that my whole life. I'm used to that. I'm used to grinding. I'm used to, like, every day I don't make a dime. I'm figuring out how am I going to make money this week. I have that burning thing because I've been trained to do it. I've had it for over 30 years, and I've done it. My dad raised me to do it. And there's a lot of benefit of it. And there's a lot of scare. And people can't handle the mental. That's why there's not a lot of salespeople in commission only. And us guys that have done it and started businesses on our own, and every day your business is like, you don't make a dime till that business is doing something. Yeah. And people don't understand the stress and the mental anguish. And most people have never done that. And the people haven't, they're used to a check every Thursday, Friday, and they're used to this. I say, get used to it. You're not just going to be able to probably do comedy and it just roll over and cover the bills. If it does, it's a once in a unicorn.
Yeah.
You need to be mentally prepared and start making your bills and finances to the point so when you step out, understand, just know there may be nothing there for a while.
You better get used to ramen noodles.
Yeah. So prepare yourself. Now the goal is hopefully you'll be so scared you'll be running like a madman and figuring it. You'll figure it out. But if you've never done it, it's going to be a scary part for about 90 days, 6 months or so. But you're going to figure it out, or you're going to run back to your job and go, okay, maybe I'm just going to do this with a job, and then if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm just going to, be a comedian hobbyist, or I got a full-time job, but I'm a comedian on the side too. Kind of. There's guys like that. And that's fine. That's fine. There's a lot of guys that did for 30 years and now I got a job and do this. I built it. Fine. Everybody's got their own path. That's
what I was going to say. Yeah.
Everybody's, and there's no judgment to any of it. But understand, I'm in a different situation than you. And I looked at everybody. I'm in a different situation than you.
Yeah.
So understand, but you're going to have to get mentally prepared to tell your wife, or like, you're going to have to tote our bills for a while if I step out and really go after this.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be break even money. And I tell them, I said, there's one show so far I've lost money on because I didn't really sell any merch. I lost $50 on the show. It pisses me off to this thing. I just keep that burning my brain. I made some adjustments. And so far now, we're breaking even. We're breaking even a show or making a little bit of money, which is great. That's what you want. But you have some losses and you're going to have some expenses, and you got to be prepared for that. You got to be prepared. 2,200 miles. You got to be prepared that you're about to go on the road. You may make $500-600, and it may cost you $400-500 to go up and down the road, and you only netted 200 that weekend.
Yeah.
Be prepared, or 100 that weekend, or you broke even. Either way, that's a win. All those are wins towards a bigger goal. A lot of people can't handle that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we're equal, but we're not equal.
Yes, we're equal, but we're not equal.
Everybody's got their own path.
And everybody's got their own path. And we all can be friends, have a group, have good shows, hug each other, love each other, support each other, want the best for each other. High five when we do a good set. High five when you place and I don't. High five when I get a feature job and you don't, or you get a headline job and I don't. We can all do that, but we're all in a different frame of mind, in a different financial situation, in a different situation.
And the thing is, as long as when you get to that point, you're helping build the person beneath you, and they're helping the person.
I've already been married. I've already had kids. My kids are in their 20s. I don't have this family burden all these guys do, or I'm about to get married. We had this conversation on a round table, a bunch of comedians. Guy goes, I'm thinking about getting married. I don't know. Should I not? And guys, I'm thinking about getting engaged. How's that going to change? Here's what's going to change for you. But and everybody's like, well, where are your kids? You should have kids. I go, oh, my kids are 26, 22, 21. They gone. They're like, what? I had kids at 22. I started early and had a very successful career. I owned 3 businesses. I started from the ground up, sold. They go, what? I go, I have nothing but my new wife, who is behind me 100%, going, go get it, brother.
Yeah.
You ain't got nothing but me and you, and go get it. And they look at me, they go, oh, and I go, and I said, and you need to be able to have that flexibility to be able to go, yes, because every day, yesterday, people were like, you sure you want this show? I want this show. You've got to answer that fast.
Yeah.
No hesitation. Like, hey, you want a show? I want a show. When they call, there's no hesitation. You're boom, boom. No, I got to talk to my wife.
Yeah.
They're going to the next guy.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there on ready, on go. I'm sitting there on yes. I got everything. Doesn't matter. All of my life's together. All I got is this.
Yeah.
And then on Monday, Tuesdays, I make sure this place is taken care of, and I'm booking more shows, and my ass is gone.
Yeah.
So I am the yes guy. I am the guy that's going to take every one of them. You will start you've got to have your house in order. You got to have yourself in order.
Yes.
And you start adding stuff to this. You've got a whole life to live. You've never been married, not had kids. All that stuff's going to happen and get in the way. And all that stuff's going to have to be together. You're going to have to figure and balance that out. It's going to be hard. I'm not saying it can't be done. You're in a different situation than me. I'm in my 40s, been married, had the kids, done the field trips, done the football games. I've got a stepdaughter. We've only got 3 more years of high school. We're on the downslide.
Yeah.
I just got to show up here and there. And if I miss a couple things, she's okay with it.
Yeah. Well, it's that comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like you sleeping in a Buick. How many people are going to do that?
Right. Not a lot, but
yeah.
But I've done the things in my life that have built me up to this point that have been able to allow me to have these things and do these things in a different way than a lot of folks.
Yeah.
And everybody's on a different path and different way.
Yep.
So, and I don't wish any ill will on nobody. So that's what it is.
We all got to build each other.
Yeah. That's it.
That's what it's about.
Have you been banned from TikTok again?
No. I'm good.
I didn't know if you got in trouble. I haven't. I saw you shave your head. I saw it. I was like, did he shave his head? Pooh.
So pretty.
I was like, oh, he shaved his head.
I do it like 3 times a year.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And usually once is during the winter, during the stupid time.
Cool. You got any more promos? Any more feet finder people? Any more Morgans and Morgans? Or?
No, I actually, well, I saw about getting a promo packet together because I got a list of like 130-ish emails for different companies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna get a packet together and send to them and see what we can come up with.
Are they requesting, or are you just sending them out?
Just sending it. Yeah. See what happens. See if they stick.
How are you still doing Canva? Or not Canva?
Yeah.
But,
Cameo.
Cameo.
Yep.
I've been working on Canva this morning. Sorry.
Yeah, we're still doing it.
It's 11 o'clock. I gotta go. I gotta go to
you gotta go.
Do my photo shoot. Shoot. When we got talking too much about this. All right. Hey, thanks for welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for being here. Hey, like, share. Sorry it was all about me. Sorry it's been crazy. We talked about it, but we're gonna figure it out. Next time we'll talk about Jody a little bit more. We'll talk about his feet. We'll talk about maybe he'll house something. Maybe he'll not. Maybe he'll do. I don't know what's happening in life.
I like talking about you.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I gotta go, folks. Listen to the podcast, like it, share it. It'll be up when I have time to upload it. See y'all.